Hello there. I am here to show you a program that I wrote in the Prolog language that's essentially a database all about Pokemon. Now, Prolog is most commonly associated with artificial intelligence, but it can be used for other things. So, first thing that I will do is, of course, give you a little bit of an example of it. So we're going to compile the database, or the knowledge base rather. Compiled 655 clauses so far. I'm still working on it. But, yeah, so, what should I show you? So let's see. I can verify that Togepi evolves into Togetic, which obviously is true. But let's see if it thinks so. It's true. How about evolving into Togekiss? Now obviously it doesn't evolve into Togekiss directly, but indirectly, yeah, it does. Now let's see if Togepi evolves into Pikachu, which obviously would make 0 sense. Of course, it's false. So you can see, you can verify that, but what if I didn't know? What if I wanted to know what Togepi evolves into? So then I use a variable, as long as anything that starts with a capital letter is a variable. So I will put something. That technically works. I could have just used capital X, which is what I usually use, but something could equal Togetic, Togekiss, and that's it. So there you go. That's the basics. Of course, there are other functions. Let me get my little hypercam thing to switch windows, because I am now going to show you the knowledge base and walk through it. There's a little bit of it. Let's show you the whole window. Select window. No. Clearly I cannot use hypercam. So we'll just do this. You can't see the whole window, but you can see enough. So, so you can also verify whether a Pokemon is a first stage evolved form of another Pokemon. So X, which would be the first, I guess, element of the, I guess it's an argument? No, wrong language? I don't know. X is, if Y, which is the second element, evolves into Y, or X, I know what I'm saying, and Y is a basic Pokemon, because obviously a stage 1 evolved form is the first evolved form, and the basic is what's commonly referred to as the first evolved form, but hasn't evolved yet. Words. So obviously you can see that I have written a lot. Honestly, this goes up to the starters of Generation 6. I have to work on the rest of Generation 6. So Stage 2 is obviously what evolves from a Stage 1. So that works. And then I'm also working on a Mega Evolution thing, so that you can verify whether something is a Mega Evolved form of something. So yeah. Now, conditional statements. This is how I got evolves into. So, again, Y evolves, or stage 1 of X. Y is a stage 1 of X, and therefore X evolves into Y. Same thing with stage 2. I did Mega evolves. Is technically evolving into, technically. It's kind of confusing. Then we use these recursively. So we use evolves into to define evolves into. And stuff like that. Evolves from is basically Y evolving into X. Basic, you can query whether a Pokemon is a basic Pokemon by just typing basic and then in the parentheses what you want to verify. You can also find every single basic Pokemon. Let's try doing that. This is going to be a long list. Now it actually will not give you every single basic Pokemon because I haven't put in basic Pokemon that do not evolve at all, like legendaries and stuff, but we can get most of the basic Pokemon by doing this. Apparently not. I will have to fix that then. Anyway, that we can do specifically is true. Is false. Okay, so that works. I'll have to work on that. Right. So stage 1, blah, blah, blah. Evolves from and is basic. You can verify whether something's a stage 1 evolve form or stage 2. Obviously, this is kind of self-explanatory because the name will start with Mega, but whatever. You can still check. Then we move on to people. Whoa, something happened there. Professors. Now we can, let's say we want to know what region Professor Oak is the professor of and what he studies, what he's an expert in. So this tells us that Professor Oak is the designated Pokemon professor of the Kanto region, and he's an expert in Pokemon-human relationships. Now we can actually just see all of them by doing this. Now these variables have to be different or else it will give you a false, because otherwise it will assume that these values would have to be the same, which none of them are. So we have Professor Oak, Kanto region, Pokemon-human relationships, and we press the semicolon, get another possibility. Professor Elm, Johto region, specializes in Pokemon eggs and abilities. Professor Birch, Hoenn, Pokemon habitats. By the way, I used Bulbapedia to get most of this information. And for some of the Pokemon information, I also used Cerebi.net. Great website, by the way. Both are great websites. Professor Rowan, Sinnoh, Pokemon Evolution. Professor Elm is also apparently an expert in Pokemon Evolution, but that's not what he researches specifically. And we have Professor Juniper from Unova, or Unova, however it's pronounced. The origins of Pokemon. I guess the origin of a Pokemon would be Arceus and Mew. I don't know. And of course we recently just got Professor Sycamore in the Kalos region, who obviously, if you've played the games, specializes in Mega Evolution. So that's how you can get some information about professors. And then we go into the gym leaders. This is a huge section as well. So you can just verify. I mean, let's say you heard somebody's name. Like, let's say you have no idea anything about Pokemon. Except, I mean, you might know that there are gym leaders. And you've heard somebody's name. So let's say we've heard Misty. Misty's name, or you want to see. So who is this Misty? Is she a gym leader? Yes, she's a gym leader. Is Lance a gym leader? No, not quite. Who are all of the gym leaders? Brock, Misty, Lieutenant Surge, Erica, Janine. Now, Janine, Koga obviously would be there in Generation 1 and in Fire Red and Leaf Green. The way I'm writing this knowledge base is to be sort of the most up-to-date within a region. So it takes the gym leaders from Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and the Elite Four from that as far as the Indigo Plateau. And the Unova gym leaders in Elite Four are from Black and White 2 rather than the first one. But yeah, so Lenora and Silent and all those people are not actually in the knowledge base at this moment. I might figure out a way to work them in. But so we have Sabrina, Blaine, Blue, Faulkner, Bugsy, blah 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 blah. So you can obviously just stop by pressing enter. So no, you can see Tate and Liza are separate. Juan, so Wallace is considered a champion. Let's stop that by pressing enter. Because I'm going to assume you know most of the gym leaders. All the gym leaders are in the knowledge base through Generation 6, so Wolfric and everybody are in there, and Clement, Nerd Boy. So again, Wallace, we can also check to see if somebody's a champion. Wallace is true, but we will get to that later. So then we have a 3-variable form of gym leader, the predicate gym leader. This is when you want to see if a certain gym leader is in a certain region and is which numbered gym leader in that region. Now obviously in a couple games you can you can battle Sabrina before Janine or Koga, and but technically speaking, this is the order. So we can go into here, and let's say we wanted to know all. Now this can be used to limit just by region. So let's say we wanted to know all of the gym leaders in the Sinnoh region. So we just define Sinnoh and then use variables otherwise. So Rourke is the first one, Gardenia is the second, Malene's third, Crasher Wake is fourth, Fantina's fifth, Byron's sixth, Candace is seventh, and Volkner is the eighth. Now we could also, if we're really bored, we can see all of the 6th gym leaders. Sabrina is the 6th gym leader of Kanto, Jasmine's 6th gym leader of Johto, Winona's the 6th gym leader of Hoenn, Byron's 6th of Sinnoh, Skyla's 6th of Unova, and Valerie, the fairy gym leader, is the 6th of Kalos. So that's like that. That's scrolly. Now, two element form of the gym leader predicate has to do with the types. So let's say we were preparing to go to we are playing through Black and White 2, hypothetically, and we want to get prepared for the 5th gym battle. We have 4 badges. Now we could use this knowledge base to determine who is the 6th gym leader, or 5th, of Unova. We know as Clay. Whoops. Shut up, Prolog. And we want to know, as if we couldn't figure out from his name alone, what type Clay's party is. So we can use a 2-element form of the gym leader predicate to find that out. We find out Clay is a ground type gym leader. So there you go. Better have a water type or a grass type with you. Or an ice type. An ice type? Yeah. So there are a lot of those. So in order to, where did I use that? the TL. Oh, yes. So where it says Gym Leader Tate and Liza, that is so you can verify that you can verify Tate is a gym leader or Liza. And obviously, if you used like a variable to get a list of all the gym leaders, they would both come up, because Tate and Liza is defined as a TL element, and then down here Tate is TL and Liza is TL. And then now we go on to the Elite Four and the Champions. So up here we have a list of all of the members of the various Elite Fours. Where's the... Now you can watch me work on this bit. Elite Four. You know what, I'll do that later. I'll add the 6th gen later. They're later in the list. Just not in the one element form of the Elite Four predicate. So let's go get a list of all of the Elite Four members. Oh, hi there. Will, Koga, Bruno, Karen, Lance. Now Lance is a champion, but he's still part of the Elite Four. Sydney, Phoebe, Thacia, Drake, I hate you Drake, Wallace, Aaron, Bertha, Flint. Yeah, so Steven Stone is not mentioned in the knowledge base yet. He'll be there eventually. Lucian, Cynthia, Chantal, I hate you Chantal, Marshall, Grimsley, Caitlin, Iris. And again, I haven't put in the 6th gen there yet. So yeah, warning, spoilers, I'm going to be showing you the members of the Kalos Elite Four, including who the champion is. So might want to skip ahead a few minutes if you would like to stay uninformed if you're playing through the games or plan on doing so. So here's kind of the same thing as the gym leaders. You get the name of the person, the region, and the order that you battle them in. Now for the Indigo Plateau is it's technically the Kanto. Johto technically doesn't have a Pokemon League. Well, it does, but it's in Kanto, and it's the same one as the Kanto. I'm confusing myself. So for that, Indigo can be either Kanto or Johto. And for the... there's the Kalos Elite Four. For the 5th and 6th generation Elite Four, obviously you can battle them in any order. So I made that a variable. Yeah, that can be any digit between 1 and 4. Obviously the champion would be the 5th that you battle, so that's fixed. So let's look at the 6th generation Elite Four. Elite Four. X. Kalos. Y. Malva could be the 1st. Malva could be the 2nd. Malva could be the 3rd. Malva could be the 4th. Vikstrom could be the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, or the 4th. Where did they come up with these names? Drasna could be the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, or the 4th. Seabold could be the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. And then Diantha, the champion, is obviously the 5th. Is Seabold the 4th? True, because he could be. So that's that. Now again, here are the types with the two element form of the predicate. Now, unfortunately, you can't get a list of all of the types within a given region directly. You'd have to know all of their names first. But we can do this. Who are all of the dragon-type members of the Elite Four? X, dragon. Lance, good times. Drake, I want to kill you. Iris, and Drasna. What about fairy? False, because there is none. Okie doke. Right. Moving on. Whoa. So champion, you can verify that somebody's a champion, as we did with Wallace earlier, if they are Elite Four of any region, and they are the 5th. Regions, I've defined all of the regions, but I haven't done anything with it yet. And then we get into the types. So obviously, you can verify that fairy is a type. Is light a type? No, but basically fairy type is light type. Just with a different name. But obviously it's not official, so it returns false. We can get a list of all the types. Grass, fire, ground, poison, electric, water, rock, flying, ice, snow, bug, ghost, fighting, and dragon. Don't forget about psychic, steel, dark, and fairy. Yes, that is pretty much the order from what kind of Pokemon are you. That's what I used to get the list of types. Obviously, poison was not mentioned in the song, and they said flame because they were distracted or something. But yeah, I have memorized the lyrics to that song. That is probably sad. Now this is where it gets particularly useful. Let's say you're about to go up against Skyla, the 6th gym leader in the Unova region. You could do this. You could do gym leader Skyla X to find out what type she is, flying, as if you couldn't figure that out from her name. And we want to know what is super effective against the flying type. So what is super effective against flying? The electric, rock, and ice. Is lying, yep, it's probably super effective against everything. Is flying super effective against steel? Not quite. What is flying super effective against then? It's super effective against grass, bug, and fighting. So that is actually a particularly useful predicate. I am next going to be adding the not very effective and also the has no effect predicate. That's all for now. I am going to be adding much more. It will probably be, in the end, at least 1,500 clauses, because there is just so much to write about. No, make that at least 2,000 clauses. I will probably be doing something involving items, and yeah, a TM predicate would be very useful. One that has elements involving like the number of the TM, the generation within the franchise, and then the move that it corresponds to. That could be wow. That's very useful, because that can be very confusing. Alright, that's it for now. I will probably be uploading or actually I have a document in Google Drive that is a copy of this knowledge base. I will probably link to it so you can download it for yourself. All you have to do is copy it into like Notepad or something and save it with the file extension .pl, and you can use it with SWI-Prolog, which is available at www.swi-prolog.org. It's a free application. You can use it to write your own stuff, like a new knowledge base, or Prolog source, excuse me, and stuff like that. Hope you are enjoying X and Y as much as I am. And awesome. Thanks for watching.